to another episode of the Colin Clan. All right. So, this morning, it is, as we have stated before, going to be a fantastic, wonderful, amazing, incredible, out of the charts, just great Saturday. Why is it a great Saturday, you ask? Well, that's a good question. It's going to be a great Saturday because it's Refeed day, it's early morning gym day, it's try out the butterscotch shake at my gym day, it's recycled plastic bags day, it's go to brunch day with my fam. It's a good day. There's a lot of positive things that are happening, and I'm just excited for it. Also, I found out you can't buy mead from the gas station before 8 a.m. So that's an interesting little fun fact and tidbit for you tiddlywinks out there in case you're trying to buy alcohol before 8 a.m. My defense, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So that's all I'm saying. But let's see, other exciting things. The day is going to be chest day because chest day is the best day and it's better than a rest day, as I always say. So chest day is what we're going to be doing. A little bit of chest, a little bit of shoulders, a little bit of abs, some cardio to kick it off because cardio is king. And I'm going to be reading some books while I do my cardio because I just do fasted, steady state, walk on a treadmill. And I like to read, so it keeps my eyeballs trained so that I can focus better at work. As the saying goes, you got to work hard, study well, eat and sleep plenty. That is the shell turtle hermit way, or whatever the Master Roshi says. And if Master Roshi says it, he's like 300 years old and ripped out of his mind. He can't be wrong. So that's what we're doing. Let's see. Next up, I found out that some of the supplements that Wallyland sells are definitely not what they are. For instance, I bought sandalwood extract from there. It's not sandalwood extract. It was mint. Mint! Can't believe that. I guess I was meant to have some mint extract instead of sandalwood. It's like, yeah, organic sandalwood extract sourced from Bentonville, Arizona, distributed by. Wrong. I also found out that, fun fact, if I'm live streaming, I need to do it before the workout, not after your workout. Because if I do it after the workout, I'm dead. I'm totally worked out. But if I do it before the workout, I've got all the energy and excitement and jazz that comes from knowing that I'm about to do one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. I'm going to go do it around good people, in a good place, and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be good. We're going to get some weightlifting done, some anti-aging done. We're going to get some muscle growth done. It's a good way to kick off your day, I feel like, is lifting weights. Lifting weights, doing some cardio, getting that heart rate up. Good way to start things. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it in the evening. I love it in the evening too. It's just Saturday for me right now is going to be earlier in the morning, and that's how I'm doing it today. That guy's coming up on my tailpipe. Holy moly. I wonder if he's a cop. Cops will do that sometimes. They'll ride your bumper and see if you'll speed up. It's kind of a fun little trick they do to get you to get a ticket. It's smart, psychological thing, like, oh, I gotta speed up for this guy, right? Wrong. So let's see, what else is going on? It's exciting. So today, I am going on a bike ride with my father. And that's exciting because my dad's a psychopath and bikes like the speed of the wind. So biking with him is always good. And I'm going for chocolates with them afterwards. And I know what you're thinking, oh, chocolates. Oh, no, my good sirs and madams. I mean real chocolates. The kind that you can only get from a confectioner's store. The best, most premium, handmade, rolled, and crafted chocolates. And I'm going to eat the absolute shiznit out of them because they're delicious. I'm going to get some fudge. I'm going to get some malt balls, which granted they didn't make, so it's not as cool, but big whoop. I'm going to get whatever else looks good. A caramel apple, some fudge, maybe like a lot of fudge. I don't know. Chocolates, more chocolates. I've been craving chocolates. It's like that SpongeBob episode, just chocolate! Been wanting some so badly. Been watching people eat chocolate and brownies in my spare time. I've just been obsessed with it. So, gonna be having some today. Been saving myself for this refeed day, and I'm excited about it. And let's see what else. Oh, I made my own cologne, which unsurprisingly is chocolate scented. Which to do is actually pretty simple. You just get a carrier oil that's, decent, and then you bake your whatever it is scent you want into it without burning it for a few hours or whatnot. I did cacao beans crushed in coconut oil for about an hour and a half at 300 degrees in the oven, and that imparted a pretty good scent to the oil. And then, thank you, I appreciate that, Nicole. And then I used some vodka as the carrier alcohol. So what happens is basically you take those two and then you shake them and then you spritz it, and what happens is the oil stays, the alcohol then evaporates, and it helps it to get on there better. The other thing that's important is to add a little bit of glycerin, because that helps it have staying power. And then I added some dehydrated vanilla extract. Now, what is dehydrated vanilla extract, you ask? Well, dehydrated vanilla extract is simply vanilla extract that you've left with the top off, and it's a similar principle to increasing your cologne or your perfume's intensity. It's a common practice they do. So if people notice over time that your sillage and your, what's the other word for how your cologne, poofs out into the environment. Basically how much it smells, like how much of a scent halo you have around you, and how long it stays will increase over time as you have an older and older cologne. Now, the interesting thing about that is what's actually happening is, your ingredients, if you have ingredients in there, are getting more of a chance to infuse into your cologne. And two, the alcohol that was in there, so a lot of EDTs and EDCs, eau de toilettes, eau de colognes, and things of that nature, and even eau de parfums, they have a higher amount of alcohol content in there, which is nice if you have an incredibly concentrated oil, because it allows you to have a less intense, less noxious smelling scent, so it carries better. But as time goes on, that alcohol, it starts to evaporate out, like all alcohols do, and the oil, which is the concentrated smelling bit, stays there. And so you get a more concentrated, rich flavor, and as time goes on, maybe you start getting bacteria in there, and they start eating things, and they start producing their own scents. The actually cool thing that I'll share with you guys about bacteria and protozoan and viruses and other small microorganisms is that they are known to produce unique scents. Specifically, the one that you guys would be familiar with is going to be petrichor. Petrichor is the scent, whatever happens whenever you get fresh fallen rain onto the ground, and the microorganisms and the various other things in there, the protozoan, the viruses, the bacteria, the macrophages, all start to open up and they release various scents into the air. And whenever that happens, you smell petrichor. And people, have a lot of questions about petrichor. Why do we smell it so well? We actually have a sensitivity to petrichor that is greater than a shark's sensitivity to blood in the water, which is kind of wild. But they hypothesize that the reason that human beings have evolved to smell petrichor so well and so fast and just so efficiently is it's a marker of soil fertility. So if you go out there and you're like smelling freshly tilled soil and it smells of petrichor and it just smells really good, you're like, that smells good. That's a biomarker of fertile soil, supposedly. So kind of cool. So you got some comments there. Can you say hello to Lucas Cower, please? Sure. What's up, Lucas Cower? How you doing? Hope I said that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But we'll give it a shot. Yeah, but no. So made my own cologne, and it's chocolate flavored. I love it. It's got it in a bottle that says Sugar Daddy, so I'm pretty pumped about that. And then I found an actual sandalwood lotion that is made by some local producers up here, and the ingredients are very clean. It's very, just natural ingredients, not a lot of artificial dyes and stuff like that. So I'm pretty pumped about that, pretty stoked. And yeah, just kicking off the day early, getting ready to roll, going through some good stuff, got some exciting things going on, and working on my weight loss cheat sheet this weekend for you guys. And I'll be getting that done to the best of my ability, God willing. And gonna be doing taxes, gonna be working on my robot. I got my robot parts in. That's actually pretty cool. I know that this is a fitness channel, but that's my big other passion is robotics. So I love to make things, especially robots. And I got these driver chips in called LM239D chips. And LM239D chips are pretty common in most of your Arduino motor shields and most of your, in fact, motor driver boards. And what you'll see in a lot of them is they are capable of handling up to 2 channels at 0.6 amps or a grand total of 1.2 amps. Now 1.2 amps is pretty good for a chip the size of my pinky fingernail. It's a pretty significant amount. If you want to go up from that, you're going to be looking at getting some type of, I think it's a TMOS transistor, and they'll be getting up to the size of like the upper half of my pinky. They get pretty beefy. And then you'll be putting heat sinks on the back of them, because whenever they're carrying that much current, they start heating up big time. And whenever they start heating up like that, they start melting, and the magic smoke starts escaping from your devices. That magic smoke is a common saying you'll hear in a lot of engineering firms. It's a basic way of saying you have heated your device up to the point where it will literally start to melt the components surrounding it. And then the smoke, aka your circuitry and such that's around it, will melt, and it no longer functions. I've done that to so many boards I can't even remember. I've run the current backwards through them. I've run too much current through them. Batteries are not at all like what they want you to believe in school. If you have a battery going through something, it doesn't just run 2 amps at 6 volts. No, it'll push as much current and as much amperage as it possibly can, unless you restrict it. It is a wild animal, and it will wreck the shit out of you. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. It will wreck the heck out of you if it gets a chance, with zero thought for it. It is a wild force of nature, and it will consume and consume and consume. And it's beautiful, wonderful, amazing, but very dangerous too. So I've got these 2 new driver chips, and the kind of ghetto way of dealing with adding more current to your Arduino motor shield is to just stack the chips. So whenever you stack your chips on your Arduino motor shield, you can get double the current in theory. The problem with that is not all chips are made equal, A, so you're not actually going to be getting 2.4 amps, you'll be getting an estimated 2.4 amps. And on top of that, your connection is not going to be very secure. So if you want your connection to actually carry approximately 2.4 amps, then you're going to need to get the chips connected in such a way that they have a very clean connection, a very good connection, and it's not going to hold them up in any way. So basically you're looking at soldering each of the joints or getting them so that they're stuck all the way deep into the pins themselves. So that is what I would recommend for getting your pin connections done. But as far as other things today that are fitness oriented, I'm also going to be going on a walk with my mom, which I'm pumped about because my mom's a nature nut. Whenever you walk out with her, she's able to identify all the things in nature, and you can just point at random stuff. It's like having a supercomputer there with you. Like, what is this strange plant? She looks at it, she's like, that's butterfly weed. It's good for hives, itching, and also getting rid of poison ivy, as long as you apply the flowers before they turn fully XYZ. And she'll just spout off these facts because she was a wildlife major, and my mom is incredibly intelligent, and it's so cool because you get to learn all these really neat things. For instance, yarrow leaf. Yarrow leaf is a good kind of cure-all for a lot of stuff. And yucca, you can eat yucca root. You can just go out and dig it up, and you get this big tuber. It's like a sweet potato. And then you can cook it. They recommend cooking it because it's kind of noxious otherwise. And then you can eat it. Also, I didn't know this, but stinging nettle. Stinging nettle is edible. You can eat the leaves from stinging nettle. It's a great plant for you. It's full of all kinds of micronutrients and just generally good. Dandelion. You can eat everything on the dandelion. You can eat the dandelion flower, the dandelion leaves. You can even make coffee out of the dandelion root. Did you guys know that? It's crazy. They call it chicory coffee in some places or dandelion root coffee in others. Chicory root is very similar to it. I'm sorry, that's a different plant, but it's very similar. And early time settlers would make it out of that. So you'd take the root, you'd roast the root, and then you would grind the root and you would brew coffee in the same way. And it's a stimulant. It's wild. But I will say getting the chicory root or dandelion root can be challenging because a lot of them grow in a very hard, clay-like, rocky soil. And so you are trying to dig down through this effectively gravel and stone to get this root that's as hard as the gravel and stone out of there. And it's just a bit of a process. The other thing that I didn't know was that psyllium, or psyllium, however you say it, is actually from, what is it? It's the, I should know this. I know what it looks like. I know how to harvest it, but I don't remember what it's called, what the plant is that it comes from. But psyllium husk fiber, the stuff that you see in Metamucil, the stuff that you see in, stores and other things, is actually from this little, I think it's a mullein plant actually. And it's the stalk that comes out of the mullein plant, has this little stalk in there, not the big mullein, like the little mullein. And it's this itty bitty thing, and you can grill them, you can cook them, but that's where you can get your psyllium husk fiber from. And you've got 3 different main varieties of it, which is actually very cool. And the commercial variety is made so that you get a little bit bigger psyllium husk fibers, and it's a little bit easier to husk. But you can get them wild, and you can just wander around, and they're technically classified as a weed because they grow so well. They grow everywhere. It's incredible. And it's a wild edible. It's good for you. It'll help you to reestablish a stronger probiotic base in your gut so that you don't have leaky gut, so that you don't have digestive issues and gas and bloating and just nausea all the time and diarrhea. It's incredibly good for stabilizing your blood sugar levels. It's great for promoting regular bowel movements. And it is, by and far, in my opinion, the absolute best fiber you can get is from psyllium husk. It is the best. So that's a kind of cool little note right there for you. Let's see, what else? Wild edibles. So interesting little fun fact. I actually got super sick earlier this year. And as a bodybuilder in training and as a weightlifter and just as an overall athletic person, not being able to eat because I would feel nauseous because I had a bacterial infection was ruining my life. And so they gave me a heavy dose of probiotics. I think it was doxycycline. I got doxycycline earlier this year. Doxycycline, if I remember correctly, is a very heavy antibiotic. They'll give it to you for a broad spectrum of infections. If you've ever had syphilis, they'll give it to you. If you have a random infection they don't know, they'll give it to you. I went to a hot spring and I didn't shower afterwards and I got infected from that. And so they gave it to me for that. And whenever it got done though, doxycycline is known to kind of clear out all of your gut biome, and it did. And I already had a weakened one because I'd been on antibiotics earlier that year, I think, something like that. And it wiped out everything I had, and the only things that started coming back were the weed-like gut bacteria, which in this case turned out to be an overgrowth of Clostridium difficile. Now, C. diff on its own isn't bad. Over 50% of people in the world have C. diff in them right now, and it's actually purportedly beneficial for helping with diabetes. It may help boost your metabolism and such. But C. diff is also whenever it becomes an infectious stage bacteria, which is effectively whenever it becomes an overgrowth and it starts moving from from the large intestine to the small intestine, it starts to do nasty things. It starts to eat the cell walls. It starts to burrow in there, and your safety layer in there I forget what it's called. It's like your I'm going to call it your epigalastic layer. That's not what it's called, but it sounds cool. So we're going to call it the epigalastic layer. Sounds all space-like and Star Trek-y. But it starts getting eaten away. And once that layer gets eaten away, you don't have anything blocking your food from your cell wall and your intestinal layer. And when that happens, you get tons of inflammation, you get super sick, and all the good and bad bacteria that are in your gut start to feast on your actual intestines. And whenever they do that, you stand at risk for getting fecal matter into the bloodstream. You're at risk for, getting chronic inflammation, for having lowered immunity responses, for just overall icky things. And I went in there for a period of like 2 or 3 months where I thought I was dying. And no one knew what was going on. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I was sick all the time. And bear in mind, this is when I had a hernia too. So if I threw up with a hernia, there was a good chance it was going to become twisted because of all that abdominal clenching. And if you get a twisted and then entrapped hernia, you will die. You will die. So this thing that was already making me feel like death stood a very real possibility of killing me. And it was terrifying. You're going around and you're doing everything you can to avoid getting murked by this mystery infection. And then you find out that what it was, it's this little bacteria that's normally just sitting all peaceful and placid in your gut, and it was an overgrowth. And then you just got kind of wrecked by it. So I'm a big proponent of natural foods and rinsing them with filtered water and soap and stuff to get rid of the pollutants and antibacterials and pesticides on them, because it's a lot better for you. Helps you build up that good gut biome. Anyway, we're at the gym. We're going to go do a lift. Love you guys. Catch you later.